Well, hello, it's Wednesday, so it must be time for Woolly Hat's Wednesday WIP. And I might look a bit dishevelled because it's very windy outside and very wet. When are we going to get summer and spring? I can't take my garden furniture out into the garden and sit and have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Anyway, hopefully something will be coming on the way here. So you join me inside today next to the lovely lilies, which are smelling gorgeous. It's a shame you can't smell them here. Anyway, what have I been up to this week? Well, you might have seen I posted on Facebook I finished Mr. W's hat. There you go. So a lovely Fisherman's Rib Hat. Marvellous. He's very pleased with it because he had his hair cut last week, so it's helping to keep his head warm in all this wintry weather. So the yarn, yeah, close look, it's an aran tweed that I got in Kilcare in the west coast of Ireland in 2018-17. And I used, it's pure wool, and it was in their odds and sods thing, so you have to, don't you, really? Some of it I used to make a lovely throw that's on our sofa in the lounge, but this was one ball I had left over, so I decided that he wanted a nice warm jumper, so I did a Fisherman's Rib pattern. So if you're not familiar with Fisherman's Rib, it's a knit one per one, but every other row you don't knit the knit, you slip it. But you also carry over the yarn over the needle so that it makes it nice and thick and also quite nice and stretchy. It's a bit like a brioche stick, if some of you have seen brioche. But anyway, so there we are, rather nice. So Mr. W is very happy with that. So that's something I've been doing. So I've also been doing lots more. This is the second of a pair of socks, so I will have a complete pair. So this is I'm on the, as you can see here, I'm just finished turning the heel. So I'm going to be picking up the stitches to shape the gusset. One day somebody will find a nicer name for a gusset because I do think it sounds a bit... Ugh. Anyway, this is a Winwick mum pattern. For those that don't know her, she's got a lovely website. She has quite a lot of free patterns. This is a chevron pattern. So the idea is that you use knitting two together and slip K, slip knit to reduce on 2 stitches, and then you also increase by knitting into the front and back on 2 other stitches, and that creates that lovely chevron pattern. And it works really, really well on a self-striping yarn like this. So this is a West Yorkshire Spinners, Spring Green it's called, and it's a lovely stripy yarn. It wouldn't work so well on a variated because you wouldn't get that chevron accentuated by the stripes. So that's not far off finishing, so I should be able to finish that fairly soon. And I've enjoyed doing that. The thing is with a chevron pattern as well to mention, or anything where you're doing perhaps a cable or twisted stitch, it does tighten the tension. So you probably do need more stitches. So this one has a cast on of 70 stitches. So normally I would do 60 because it's quite tight. I don't know whether you can see there, but it doesn't stretch very much, it's quite tight. You do need extra stitches to allow that to happen there. So that's one thing. There's another project. So Mrs. W and I will be going on a train ride soon to where we're going, Chamonix, which involves Eurostar and TGVs, things like that. So lots of opportunities for crochet and knitting. So what am I going to take with me? Well, some things in here. I have got some yarn. Hang on a second. There we go. So I've been looking in my sock yarn drawer, and I have rather a lot of sock yarn. Anyway, so I said to Mr. W, does he want another pair of socks? And he said yes please, which is very good of him. So he chose out of my big selection this is West Yorkshire Spinners, and it's part of a series of sock yarn that they do named after British birds. I think they started it with a Christmas yarn with a robin sort of colour, which is browns and reds and things. This one is called Bluetit, so that's rather nice. And I'm going to put this colour on the heel, the toe and the cuff, so that'll work rather well. So that'll be probably one of the projects I'll take with me. So I was thinking, well, should I take a pair of socks for me? So I looked around. Now some of you may know that I found a number of socks that needed a pair. So I have got this one here. So this is a a sock using a method called helical socks. So you're using 3 different colours or balls of wool. So in this case, I'm using a plain, which is West Yorkshire Spinners, and then coming on a bit unravelled. These are the remainder of 2 balls of self-striping yarn from the Yarn Badger, and she does some lovely self-striping yarn. So this one is Blueface Leicester, and this one has got some merino in. So it doesn't really matter if you mix it too much, but just wrapping that out of the way. So that will be one project to do. So I just need one to make a complete pair, and of course once you've knitted a pair of socks, you can wear them. So can't think it's excess battery. So there we are. So I think those colours are quite nice. So quite an interesting effect. So that's that one. And then I thought, well, I have got an awful lot of sock yarn. Excuse me, I'll just sit there's the other one there. Socks everywhere. I have got rather a lot of sock yarn. I thought, well, I really need to use it rather than it just sitting in my sock box. I have a box full of sock yarn. So what I thought I'd do is use some of it to make that. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that there. So this is a drops design. It's and they use it's 4-ply, what they call fingering, well, what we would call 4-ply. And it starts at this crochet. It starts at the top here with a nice pattern, and then it's just straight down trebles all the way down to the bottom, and then you do the sleeve. So I thought, well, what have I got? I can do that. Now I haven't got the right amount of wool for all the same colour, so I thought, well, have I got something that I can mix together? So I found this. Don't know whether you can see that. It's got sparkle in it. So this is stock yarn from the Coastal Colours, which are based in Fleetwood. They go to the Pop-Up Wool Show in Port Sunlight, but they also go to lots of other shows like Yarndale, and that's got 5% sparkle. So I thought, well, that's quite nice. And then I've got that to go with it. So I thought I'd do that on the top bit there, okay, and perhaps on the cuffs. And then I thought, well, what else have I got? So I found this, which is Wild Bobbin Yarns, and it's got merino and yak and nylon. Interesting mix, rather interesting colours. And I thought I'd put that with this one. So this is a skein of yarn that I found in my sock box, and it hasn't got the label on, which means I don't really know what's in it. However, it does feel nice and soft, so my guess is that it's merino. So they sort of go together. So what I'm going to do for the main body is I will do a row of this and a row of that, and alternate it, so it doesn't look as though it's just big blocks of different things. So the pattern for the main body of the jumper says that you do trebles. So trebles are like that, the bottom, can you see? But it's quite holy, that. Now I have in the past used a pattern which has used 1 treble, 1 double, which is that bit there, and then that bit up there is double, half treble. So I was looking to see which I like better to do the main body, and I think that's a bit holy. See what I mean? So it might be one of those two. It might be the half trebles I use for the main body. However, we'll see. Anyway, this is a little swatch I'm doing using sock yarn, 4-ply. It does give a tension in the pattern, and it is useful when you're doing jumpers to do a tension square. Otherwise you might end up with a too small or too large thing. But I've also extended that to look at different patterns as well, so that's a useful thing to do. So I've got to decide that before I pack, because we're taking our rucksacks because we're going on the train. So I need to be very efficient in what I pack. So I need to make a few decisions. So I will let you know what I decide, hopefully next week, and I will see you then. Bye for now.